This is the third and final part on how to make a customer list for mobile devices. Um, and of course, this is our TeamDesk listing. Feel free to please get in contact with us when you need help or if you need a new web page or anything. So I'm going to jump right over here, and this is what we're going for. Sometimes you might want your users to actually have a contact list with the ability to do certain things and have buttons. And you can get really advanced with it, and your users will love you if you have mobile users out there doing things. So in this demo, I'm showing you how to do it in a real um, simple one because our customers just have notes on them. But you might do other things, but in this case, we need to use a dashboard, and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. It's going to look like this, similar to this, not exactly like this, but it's very similar to it when it's on the phone. And what they're going to see is when they go out, they can actually take a note about a person right when they're out in the field. And what happens is it comes up, and then they can type in a new note and save it. But you can do many things with this. I have one client that takes notes and schedules appointments with the person if right from their contact list, or they can set tasks for their office staff to do things for the person. They in fact have a little button here that has a pull down that they can select multiple things to do with that contact. But we're only going to do one thing, just the notes. So let's go set up and let me show you how I did that. We start out with our equivalent view, what we had before, same buttons, but now we're going to make a view with buttons. And if we edit that view, you'll see it's same view. I have view here, show everything. The embedded doesn't need to be on because we're not going to embed it, but it was just because I copied the other one. Um, that's the only thing different on this one is I have view checked. You can have edit, new, whatever you want to check, but the view I left checked on, so it makes the view button. Okay. The next thing I did was created a new column for the note. Now this is a sneaky way to do things, but I made a new note button, a column here that's just text multi-line. That is essentially hidden. If we go to the form and look at the form in the edit layout, you'll see it doesn't show up anywhere. It's not in any views. It's not on the form. I put it up here someplace, new note right there, see? So it doesn't even show up on the form. The user does not see it because we're not keeping the note in the customers table. But the reason why we make that note there is so the button works. So what we're going to do now is make a custom button right here, call it the note, and if you look, it's only works on this one view. I turned the button on this one view. That's it. And the important thing is the user input. I set it to new note. That's that field I made. So this is essentially ask the user for the new note before it does anything. And then what we're going to do is after it pops up the new note, then we add a couple actions. The first action is going to be create a record. So in here, we're going to create a record in the customer note table right here, customer notes. And what we're going to put in there is the contents of new note. Here, I'll hit edit here. So that's the new note. So that's coming from customers, and we just edited that to make it what we wanted to. And we put it in the note field that's in the customer note table. Then, since these two tables are linked, we take the ID from the customer side and put it in on the customer note side into the customer field. That makes our link between them. So now what we've done is made a new record that links to our customer, and puts the information in there. And then one last thing we do after we've done that is we clear the note column so it's blank. So next time they make a note, it'll be blank. So all we do is put null, just the word null. So just like this, you can have a formula here, but null works, and put that into the new note. So that's how we made the button. So that gives us the button. Now, if we just look at that view itself in the database, it's kind of messy in a mobile view. Let me go to the view here. It still has stuff up on top. If I go to this one here, it ends up looking like this with all this extra stuff. So what we want to do is remove this stuff, and to do that we use CSS. And the way to do that is, instead of using a view, we're going to use a dashboard. So what we're going to do is go in here and make a new dashboard over here and customize existing dashboards and make a dashboard called Mobile Contacts. We're going to edit it. The first section is going to be text, and the second section is just going to be the view. So that's the view. The first section is actually text, but it's actually HTML. So this works just like an XHTML box, and whatever you can do in an XHTML box, you can essentially do in here. And in here, we're going to just add a style section. We could do this for the database as a whole using the DB styles CSS file to put in resources, but we just want to affect this one view, so we make a style that we put above this one view. You're going to have to use a lot of these. You're going to have to learn CSS to make it work, and take my word for it. This first section, I did a lot of experimenting, but what it makes is makes the buttons wrap. So on the view, when we get there, the buttons won't sit next to each other. They'll sit on top of each other. Otherwise, they take up too much space. These here affect the column lists, and you can actually mess with them to make them fit. If you have a column that's longer, just change these values in here. And that's all this section. This section down here hides the things on top. So all this stuff, and then that makes it so when we actually cancel out of here and we actually go to the view, in mobile view, it makes it look like this. Now, when we actually go to a web page on a mobile phone, I'm sorry, not a web page, but when we load this on an iPhone or any mobile device, what it'll do is this gray section disappears, because TeamDesk, when you're logged into TeamDesk. So how you're going to use it is you're going to go into the browser on the mobile device, and you're going to have the user log in and tell it to remember their login. And then they're going to go and browse to your menu in the dashboard. So it works. And then they're going to make the link on the desktop to Appify it, and then it's going to work like before. So that's the whole thing. You build up to it, and the whole secret is you're going to have to style it a little bit using the dashboard right here. And that needs to be first. You can't put it second. Trust me, it's just the way CSS works. And to understand this stuff, the CSS, you'll have to learn some CSS, and we can teach classes, but you'll have to contact us off our expert list. There's some very, very good stuff on the web about CSS, and please don't be scared of using CSS, because it looks confusing, but it really isn't. You know, a couple hours and you'll be a CSS expert. It's if you can program a database, you can use CSS. Trust me, it's not that hard. So okay, so thank you for this, and happy to answer simple questions, and I'd be very happy to hear from you if you need any help with your databases.